could change his last name.
Or you can change it.
There are men who change
Would you
to the
consider
woman's
changing your last name?
I wouldn't consider changing my name
Yeah.
at all.
After the show today, we were talking a little bit about last names because there has always been a tradition of taking on the last name of the woman usually takes over the last name of the man in traditional, heterosexual partnerships. This is the way it's gone. And then you're carrying on often the name of your father. So I'm Moore because my father's Moore. And I kept my name, and the rest of my family, they're all Perrons. And that's fine. It's just sometimes it bothers me. And I'm surprised that it bothers me. Like when we're at the airport and we're traveling, I'm like, if I were to travel just with the kids, I might need a note because they don't have the same last name as me. And there's something about having like a family with the same last name that appeals to me. But I guess the question I'm asking you now is, does it matter? How do you feel about it? Is it more progressive to keep your last name, or should people be allowed to do whatever the heck they want? Michael, how do you feel about it? Because you get to keep your last name for life.
Yeah.
He could change his last name.
Or you can change
There
it.
are men who change
Would you
to the
consider
woman's last
changing your
name.
last name?
I wouldn't consider changing my name at all. It's an honor. So I had a wife who took on my name, and it was an honor. It felt amazing.
Yes.
And we had kids. So to have that cohesiveness in our family is important. And I feel strongly that my kid's last name is my name.
Yeah.
So if she didn't want to take on that name, I wouldn't fight. However, the kid's name would have to be my name. That would be the fight.
So you would fight.
Well,
You'd fight to have the kids have your name.
Right, my name.
Oh, right. But she could keep her name. You don't care either way.
No. And see, right now I'm engaged, and it's different. Like we're not having new kids, and it's not as important to me. She can keep her last name.
Yeah.
If she wants to, fantastic.
Yeah.
It's up to her. It's just different, I think, with children.
It's also, I think that it's tradition. But to me, it's important to unpack the tradition. So, like, I have to question to myself, why is it important to me? And it's important to me because of the patriarchy. It's true. I mean, that's 100%. What it is. You're not passing down maternal last names, right? How about you, T? How do you feel about it?
So I do think that it's important, like, there's a lot of traditions we maintain that have, no business in 2022 anymore. So it should be unpacked. That said, I don't think there's one right answer for everybody. It's like, what's your relationship? What's the couple? What do you want to do? Some people switch it around. The man takes the woman's last name. We know one of Edward's good friends has done that. He took his wife's last name on his second marriage to make a big statement. Now, I had a career in publishing and a lot of bylines before we got married. I took Edward's last name and added it on the end. So I have my last name, Robbins, and Griffith, with no hyphen, just a space, because hyphens can get complicated. And part of the rationale at the time was, well, then we could be arguing about grammar. But like,
that's like a whole different road.
But part of the rationale was what you said about traveling and airports. So my kids, I was just like, fine, let them be little Griffiths. So the kids are...
So they're not a two-name last names.
They don't have two last names. They're Griffith, but if I'm with them and he's not there, I'm Robbins Griffith, so I don't need a note.
Okay.
But I still have Robbins.
Yes, and then they're Griffith.
And then, you know what? They can choose whatever they want to do when they're older. We've also added in some mother, maiden name, middle names for them. Like,
there's a lot of names to go around.
We thought it through. And then you get into like kids with like 3, 4, 5 middle names.
Well, it happens. And a lot of this discussion is around, heterosexual, heteronormative values. But what do you do if you're in a same-sex relationship? What are the rules? Are there rules?
As the LGBTQ person at the table today, very fun for me. You know what? LGBTQ relationships are really quite interesting because they don't really come with any of the rules that they would normally come with heteronormative relationships, and that expands into the entire relationship as it is. I am not married, but my partner and I have fully told her that when we do, I'm planning to make my name as long as humanly possible. So my name is already Renée Faith Sferrazza, which is a 9-letter last name. Her last name is Mishra, so I'll just add that on to the end there and make people say Sferrazza Mishra every time they meet me.
You're going to make me say that on the show. Is what you're going to do, and I will do it.
Purely because I think it's funny, and I would like to live the rest of my life doing that. I have picked this based on no patriarchy, no anything.
No kids.
I don't have any kids. I won't be having any of that. So, like, I'm just picking it based on how I want the world to interact with me.
entertained.
in the future.
Yes.
I want to be entertained until I'm like dead.
Yes.
This is my
I
plan.
like that philosophy, entertainment till death.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's my plan.
That would
And what do
change
you
a lot,
think?
though.
And
That
what's
would really
she gonna
change a lot.
do, Renee?
I will encourage her to do the same.
Yeah.
But she could do whatever she wants. The only thing I don't like is when people take two names and mash them together to make a new name.
Why do you hate that?
Because, like, you know, the name is it is passing something down. So I do think it's like there is a tradition to having your name. I even know what my last name means, which means blacksmith.
Okay.
And there's only a couple Sferrazzas left. So if I
There's
get
an
rid of
identity
it
there.
and I change it up, then I change that identity, which I'm not really interested in doing.
Yeah, I just don't love it when women will change the name because they feel like they have to. And I don't like it when they hang on to their name because they feel like if I'm going to be a proper feminist, I need to hang on to my name. There's no way to be a proper feminist. I think we need to throw that out the window. But I think whatever you do in life, you kind of have to recognize where
Why.
the decision is coming from.
Yep.
Very cool. Thank you all for weighing in.